In twilight's hush, where whispers bloom, I find you living in my quiet hours, a secret pulse beneath the veil of stars. My world, wrapped in beauty and golden halls, softens when thoughts of you arrive. Though they see me in silks and crowns, I am no more royal than the wind is still, when I think of your name. You are the ember hidden in my palm, the one I cradle when all else demands frost. If I speak softly to the moon, it is because it reminds me of your silence, the kind that says everything while saying nothing at all. In the hush between heartbeats, your presence settles, known but unseen. You are the note that never fades, even when the music pauses. I've walked marble corridors, my footsteps echoing through a life planned and poised. But nowhere in those echoes have I found the freedom I do in the way your gaze holds mine, unshaken. And in that gaze I learned the shape of a love unspoken, yet infinite, threaded deep into the silence that only souls can read. There are nights when I trace your absence like embroidery on my skin, delicate and aching. The palace may lull itself with rituals and grandness, but even gold loses luster beside the warmth of your imagined touch. I have seen nations gather, watched nobles bow, and heard voices carry across banquets in praise, but none so sacred as the unguarded whisper you once gave me beneath the fig tree. It wasn't a confession or a vow, just a look that trembled like sunlight on water. Since then my breath has never belonged solely to me. When I speak in council, when I sign decrees, your name is the ink that never dries. This love, our tether, is not of this world's making. It defies names and titles and expectations born of blood. I hold it quietly, not because it is small, but because it is vast, too vast for courts and tongues, and the fickle gaze of the world. In you I remember that even a princess can long not for a throne, but for arms that ask for nothing, and give everything in return. Even the gardens here know your absence. The roses bloom too early, or not at all, as if confused by the rhythm of a heart misplaced. I walk among them, pretending not to listen for your steps, but each breath I take is a prayer for your nearness. They call me air, they call me future, but they do not call me by the name you know. That name, your name, for me is the truest thing I've ever worn. It wraps around me like a memory I've never lived, but always carried. I wonder if you feel the same pull in your quiet hour. Does the night ever lean into your ear and echo the things we never dared to say aloud? When I press my hand to my chest, I feel not a crown but your heartbeat, distant but steady, like a lighthouse refusing to dim. We were not meant for this world's permission, and yet we are here, stitched into its tapestry like a secret thread, unseen, but essential. I do not need you to walk beside me, I need only to know you walk under the same sky, dreaming with me. There is a story I once read of lovers who met only in dreams, never by day, never by fate, but who knew each other by soul, by feeling. We are not them, yet I understand them now. I have touched your hands fewer times than I've touched the sea, but they linger on mine like an echo I can't unfeel. My words, though royal in origin, stumble when I speak to the night about you. I do not wish to be a poem, I wish only to be your silence, your pause, your comfort. I am taught to lead, to command, to inspire, but you taught me to surrender, not to lose myself, but to uncover what was hidden beneath the layers. With you I do not need to wear the crown of grace, I can be all the things that do not fit into courtly lessons. Awkward, eager, soft, human. Your name is a rebellion on my tongue, a revolution my heart wages against expectation. And if I must walk the path of destiny alone, I will do it with the quiet knowledge that somewhere you walk parallel, your soul breathing alongside mine. The stars are indifferent, but I am not. I chart their paths only to trace the shape of the time we've spent apart. And yet, the pain is not sharp, it's the gentle ache of knowing something rare and beautiful once touched your life, and left it better. You are not a wound, you are the pulse of everything I write in secret. I've written you in margins of speeches, between the lines of treaties, and in the soft corners of my dreams. 1,000 formalities may rise around me, but none can drown the softness you gifted. You taught me that strength is not forged only in fire, it can be built in whispers, in kindness, in the courage to feel. I love you not as a girl or a sovereign, but as a soul stitched too tightly to yours to ever truly untangle. We are woven like the wind through reeds, bending, whispering, resonant. And even if our voices are never heard in the same room again, even if our fingers never touch skin again, I know this, the space you fill in me is eternal, unscarred, unshaken. They tell me love is a distraction, but I have found clarity only in loving you. What distraction teaches one how to breathe when the air is heavy with judgment? What distraction steadies trembling hands as they sign their name to centuries of history? You are not a diversion, you are an anchor. When I feel the weight of expectation press against my ribs, I remember the day you looked at me not as a title, but as a girl. That look so effortless, so true, gave me back my name. Not the one history will write, but the one that belongs to the part of me that lives beyond you. In the shadow of the crown, I found my light in you. Perhaps I was never meant to have you in the way stories promise. No white horses, no hand-in-hand endings. But I have you where it matters, in the ungoverned realm of the soul. And there, no one can forbid us. No border keeps us. There, you are mine beyond ceremony, beyond blood, beyond time. I dream sometimes that we meet again, not as princess and commoner, not as symbols, but as breath and heartbeat. In that dream I wear no jewels, only the smile you once gave me. And you hold no fear, only the truth of what we are. We walk through a field no map names, and we say nothing because nothing is needed. Our silence is not empty, it sings. If that dream never becomes flesh, I will still carry it like a locket pressed to my ribs. Every decision I make, I'll weigh against that dream, not to chase it but to honor it. You gave me a love that did not demand proof, only presence. A love that asked for no transformation, but saw me as I was, and bowed not to my crown but to my truth. If that is not love, what is? So I will walk forward, not in grief, but in reverence. And if you ever doubt what you meant, listen to the night wind. It carries my name, and it is whispering it to you still. Sometimes I envy the stars, not for their beauty but for the way they exist without permission, burning where they please. I want that for us, a place where our fire does not frighten the watchers, where our truth is not rewritten to fit someone else's ending. I want to be reckless with you, not with wildness, but with honesty. To tell you all the things I must only write, that you are the only thing that makes me believe fate might be kind, that I've imagined growing older, with your hand brushing mine, as we pass, that I don't need a kingdom if I can have your quiet everyday presence. But I was born into a story already halfway written, and you, love, were never in the script. Yet here you are, in my margins, my footnotes, my hidden stanzas. So I write you into being with every breath. I write as a life that exists not in reality, but in the folds of a soul that refuses to forget. If love is rebellion, then let mine be a crownless vow, cast in silence, sealed in longing. I do not weep when I miss you, not because the ache is small, but because it is sacred. Tears would cheapen it, make it ordinary. But this love is not ordinary. It is cathedral silent. It is candle gentle. It is royal in its own right. Sometimes I believe we are soulmates from a past life, punished now for daring to love again. Other times I think we are only just beginning, that this ache is merely the first chapter of something long and holy. But always, always, I know this. I loved you. I love you. I will love you. Not as the world says I should, but as only I can, as Leonor, stripped of title, stripped of legacy, simply and wholly yours. If the years stretch long between us, I will not measure them in sorrow but in depth. For each year is another layer of this tapestry we've woven, you and I, thread by secret thread. One day perhaps the world will see it too. Until then, I carry it stitched beneath my skin, close, unyielding, eternal.